Hey everyone, welcome back to Wired-Tec. In our last story, we were deep in a world of brass, steel, and these incredibly complex clockwork machines, the age of mechanical computers. We saw how Charles Babbage had this amazing dream of machines that could literally think in gears. But, they all had one big problem. They were limited by the speed of physical moving parts. To get any faster, computing had to leave those gears behind and move at the speed of electricity. So let's dive into that electrifying next chapter. So this is the really crucial shift in thinking. Gears, they're real, tangible things. You can hold them. They have to physically turn and clunk into place. But electrons, they don't have to move in the same way. They just flow. They can flip a circuit from on to off in a tiny fraction of a millisecond. This wasn't just a small step up. It was a total game changer. It was a move from manipulating physical objects to manipulating pure information. The hunt for real speed meant it was time to ditch the gear and harness the electron. And what could possibly push humanity to make such a huge leap so quickly? Well, the answer, as it often is with big tech breakthroughs, was conflict. World War II took computing from a cool theoretical idea and turned it into an urgent, high-stakes race for military dominance. This wasn't just about doing math faster anymore. This was about survival. And just like that, labs in Germany, Britain, and the United States were all locked in this secret, parallel competition. The goal for all of them was the same: build a machine that could outthink and outcalculate the enemy. Whether that meant designing better aircraft or, maybe more importantly, cracking their most secret codes. The first major player to emerge in this race actually came from Germany. It was built by an engineer named Konrad Zuse. And what's amazing is that he was working pretty much completely cut off from what anyone else in the world was doing. Zuse's Z3 machine was a true pioneer. It was the world's first programmable, automatic digital computer. But its core technology really shows why it was more of a stepping stone. See, it used about 2,300 electromechanical relays. The best way to think of these is like a light switch, but instead of your finger flipping it, an electromagnet does it. Yeah, they were way faster than gears, but they were still physical switches with moving parts, and that put a cap on their speed. It was this incredible bridge between the old mechanical world and the new, purely electronic one. Meanwhile, just across the English Channel, the Allies were in a desperate fight to crack the German military's encrypted messages. And the secret work they were doing, hidden away at this quiet country estate called Bletchley Park, would literally change the course of the entire war. So at Bletchley Park, the mission was huge and very, very specific. Defeat the infamous Nazi Enigma machine, which was scrambling all of Germany's secret communications. The solution came from the mind of an absolute genius, Alan Turing, and his team. And this really shows you how a specific problem can drive innovation, right? The bomb wasn't a computer like we think of one today. It was a purpose-built, code-breaking weapon. It worked by simulating the settings of a whole bunch of Enigma machines all at once, helping the code breakers find the daily keys so the Allies could read German messages. But just like the Z3, it was still electromechanical, basically a room full of clicking relays, limited by the speed of its moving parts. Now let's jump across the Atlantic. The Americans were tackling a different but just as complicated problem: calculating artillery firing tables for the Army. Their project, at the University of Pennsylvania, would create a machine on a scale nobody had ever even imagined before. One that would finally leave all those clicking relays in the dust. To really get what they built, you have to appreciate its sheer monstrous scale. First off, just try to imagine how much this thing weighed. We're talking 30 tons. That's like the weight of 5 elephants. And it was all sprawled across more than 1,000 square feet of floor space, the size of a small house. So why was it so enormous? Well, it was because of what was inside. Not gears, not clicking relays, but almost 18,000 glowing, super delicate glass vacuum tubes. And each one of those tubes acted as a high-speed electronic switch with absolutely no moving parts. And this was ENIAC, the first machine to totally leave that electromechanical world behind. By using vacuum tubes, it was over 1,000 times faster than any computer that came before it. It wasn't just another stepping stone. It was like discovering a whole new continent. This was the real dawn of high-speed, purely digital electronics. Just let that sink in for a second. The sheer computational power of this one single machine was so huge, it did more math than every human being combined throughout all of history up to that point. It completely redefined what was even possible. So, ENIAC was this incredible triumph of speed and power. But this giant had an Achilles heel. It had this fundamental design problem that made it both a miracle and a monster to work with. And here's the paradox. The machine could do 5,000 additions every single second, a speed that was just unimaginable. But telling it what to do? Oh, that was a completely different story. You see, programming ENIAC didn't mean typing on a keyboard. It meant hard, physical labor. A team of programmers, mostly women mathematicians who are actually called human computers, would spend days, sometimes even weeks, physically unplugging and replugging hundreds of cables and setting thousands of switches. They were literally rewiring the machine by hand for every single new problem they wanted to solve. So this was the next huge challenge, right? The hardware was lightning fast, but the software, the actual instructions, was still physical. The solution would be a revolutionary idea called the stored program concept, which would allow the program itself to be treated just like data. We'll explore that incredible leap in our next explainer. Thanks for watching, and if you're enjoying this series, make sure to like the video and subscribe to Wired-Tec so you don't miss what comes next.